Listen, when the race wars happen inside of the United States, they are going to be fascinating to document.
Yo. So I'm at Salty, right?
I could just see people flying in now through those eyelashes, as of course that's the trajectory that we are on. Tragic and an absolute car crash of race relations, as it's pretty clear here that whatever is happening online is just the larger sentiments that have been building up for quite a long time. As a lot of people say, the crescendo moment could be coming this summer for another Summer of Love BLM-style riot movement that probably will be treated a lot different than it was beforehand. All of this as race relations are in the gutter in more ways than one, specifically after the latest developments we have with the South Afrikaners, the information happening now with Derek Chauvin, The View, and all these other insane personalities out there that are just making the situation that much worse for everyone. As of course, we wanted to take an honest and earnest, holistic take and point of view on the deteriorating race relations and just how awful some people are being and how this is really building up to some really bad moments for Americans and all of our people that used to, represent everyone kind of coming together, living together peacefully. But it looks like those days are over, and more tumultuous times are ahead, as you are going to see in the making of this particular video. As about 59 white South Afrikaners made it to the United States and are under a special refugee program from the United States of America that is helping them flee communism, persecution, and racial discrimination laws that have been implemented against them in South Africa. And because 59 people are being imported, the Episcopal Church, as well as other institutions, along with the corporate media, are all freaking out. There's only 59 of them, as we had a representative from the church literally say this.
A partner in this work for us, so we're just not able to take this step. It's not in line with anything that we're about. And
yeah, no, it's nothing we're about, because let's just be honest with ourselves, because they're white. All right, that's why. Because they don't look like this. Allahu Akbar, Allah. Yep. Also, they don't look like this. And they don't have the temperament like this man that came out on national television and said, you guys got to give me everything. Because
why should English people pay for you to have a house?
Maybe they give me house, they give me anything I can need, they give me.
Just give it to me. As of course, the Episcopal Church loves helping out those people, predominantly males. But when there's women and children with families coming together, just 59 of them, they say, you know what, we're going to step out of this one. We're not going to help these people because it's not in line with what we're about. Because what you're about is just trash and racism. And let's be honest with ourselves, we're seeing a lot of it in response to this. As of course, a lot of people are tweeting things like this: starving Afrikaners on their way to the USA. And again, it's not that they're starving, it's that they face racial prosecution. As people are responding to this by saying, when all the Afrikaners leave, it will be the Africans starving, with a rebuttal of that particular point here, as the Babylon Bee really hit the nail on the head here, saying South African denounces white refugees for leaving before they had a chance to take all of their stuff and kill them. As of course, that's what politicians and the legislative legal branch in South Africa has been instituting, as there are now 142 race laws against white South Afrikaners, including laws that will confiscate their land because the South African government deems that they have too much of it. There's political leaders in South Africa that are literally saying that they will never call for the extermination of Afrikaners for now.
Now, the way a sentence is structured, you say, we are not calling for the slaughter of white people, at least for now. That means at some future date, we may call for the slaughter of white people. Is that correct?
Let's deal with that at that future date. I don't know what's going to happen.
So you
Yeah. Oh, just not yet. And then the interview goes on. It goes in circles. And then he reiterates, I'm not going to make any promises not to do that.
that
I
pledge.
don't.
You
I
said
won't,
I will do it.
I won't do it.
Make the pledge.
I won't do it.
You won't do it.
Yes.
I understand.
Yep. As of course, they ritualistically, literally call for the extermination and the taking of the lives of individuals just based on their skin color. And here, inside of the United States, we're finally giving these people a helping hand. So is Russia, by the way. And they are facing human rights violations. They are facing discrimination. They are facing full frontal onslaughts and attacks that are state organized and coordinated with mercenaries and hit teams with $20,000 jamming equipment, with shocking horror stories that we can't even mention here in this particular video. And then still, we have the church. We have these liberals, all of them saying refugees welcome in, except if they're white, which is highlighting the insane, delusional type of thinking that is being perpetrated on social media and putting people in a place that really is very hard to get them back from, as of course these individuals are radicalized to the biggest extent, and they're the true racist. Almost everything you're seeing in modern kind of establishment mainstream media thinking is usually the inverse of what is true here, as of course they've been screaming about race, and they're the biggest racist of them all. Before continuing on and talking about Derek Chauvin and The View and these other kind of insane people that are now threatening the lives of these Afrikaners, we wanted to tell you about LukeUnfiltered.com. If you haven't signed up yet, what are you doing? We're doing 2 in real life meetups. Soon we're going to do one in Las Vegas. Use promo code WRC for 10% off of your Bitcoin conference tickets. Bitcoin conference tickets go up in price soon. WRC, 10% off, and we're going to do a member meetup there. We're also going to do one at PorkFest, promo code Simon plus Luke, and that one, of course, will be for New Hampshire in about a month from now. So come be a part of all the fun on LukeUnfiltered.com. 13 plus years of exclusive videos, 3 master classes, and a way to talk to me directly in the Telegram chat. I'm talking to you guys now. I'm going to respond to your messages soon. And of course, we are going to be doing some really cool things like more range days, more cigar days, more nature hikes, all of those things just for members of LukeUnfiltered.com, where you get access to a lot of high-profile people. You get to network, you get to hang out, you get to really just be a part of a membership, quasi-secret, not-so-secret organization where we kind of do everything honestly and transparently, and we just kind of tell everyone what we're up to and doing anyway. There's no secrets. I'm just being facetious here. But it could feel like a secret society. It's not a secret society. We literally like videotape and document everything. And we're like, hey, can we take your photo? And if you don't want to be in the photo, you don't have to be in the photo. But we appreciate all the people. It's been awesome to have this because I get to meet you guys. We get to hang out. We get to smoke cigars. We get to do nature hikes. We get to train tactical defense stuff. It's been super fun doing this. So I appreciate you guys signing up. And if you want to help spur on the human connection, sign up. If you want to help other people spur on the human connection, sign up. Just check your spam. Google has not been nice to us, and Google has been sending all of our login credentials to your spam box. So just make sure to double check that as we continue on this very kind of tumultuous, divisive topic that's only going to get that much more tumultuous, that much more divisive. As of course, I don't know about you guys, but when I'm on social media right now, all I keep seeing are these deranged, insane, identitarian, ideological, racist posts that just keep showing up and showing up and showing up. All I keep seeing is now on my Twitter feed overwhelmingly, and it's maybe because I started to do a little bit of research and now the algorithm wants to show me this stuff. But when you look at the crime statistics, it does that up. But it's just nonstop black people hurting, assaulting, and taking the life of white people. Nonstop. It's just boom, boom, boom. When you keep seeing that does play on your psyche. Now, we have to understand here, The other side's being shown the same stuff. And this is why their reticular activation system, this is why their mindset, this is why their subconscious is being inundated with white people bad, white man bad, white man bad, white man bad. And that's why when they see white South Afrikaners and they need their, like, that's an oppressor. They are nasty, destructive, evil people. When in reality, the statistics speak for themselves here. And this kind of division, this kind of polarity has really kind of fomented to the top after Occupy Wall Street, when a lot of people came together and said, the whole financial system with the Federal Reserve banking system and all these other kind of globalist oligarchs with their multinational corporations, they're kind of screwing all of us over, and we got to come together and we got to speak out against this. And then they said, hey, there's black people. Look at them. Look, there's white people. Look at them. They're bad. And the message is blah, 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 blah. Now, again, you shouldn't judge any individual based on generalizations, but statistics do speak for themselves. And there is an issue that we should address, especially when it comes to ignorance, especially when it comes to impulse control, when it comes to violence, when it comes to crime statistics, with 6% of the population committing vast majority of the crimes here. Those conversations you're not allowed to have, which I think, some people have it in a very kind of like racist way. I think you still should have those conversations in an honest way. We can't. And because of that situation never will be dealt with, because people automatically have a trigger and automatically like, well, you can't discuss genetics and fatherless homes and all this other stuff, which I think you should be in order to, of course, try to address this problem. But in highlighting the ignorance, we had a CNN commentator literally come on and talk about how the South Afrikaners need to return from Germany. They're not from Germany, okay? They've been in South Africa for hundreds of years, okay? And for this person to say, go back to Germany, just a random country that she made up, shows you just how full of hatred and ignorance this person is.
And part of that is that the people who are native to that land deserve their rightful land back.
That's the white South Afrikaners, okay? What do you mean their land back? Have you heard what happened in America, by the way? They deserve it. That's South Afrikaners that, of course, have been there for an extremely long time.
That is not what the Afrikaners actually want to have happen, which are the white Africans, and so who are not originally from Africa, who colonized South Africa also. And so that is what they are saying is discrimination. Now, if the Constitution in South Africa is discriminatory, they have their checks and balances in that land, just like we do. And that is for them to, so if the Afrikaners...
They're a minority of the population, a minority that is being oppressed by the majority. They have a constitution. Yeah, but there's also an overwhelming amount of majority people there that are pushing race-based discrimination and laws there that are evil, that are bad, and punish people because of the way that they were born.
Don't actually like the land. They can leave that country.
They are. They're leaving to come here.
No. They can
These refugees are coming here.
They can actually leave and go to where their native land is, which is probably Germany.
Are you against them coming here?
Holland, probably. Holland.
Ignorant people, to say the least here. As of course, there's other people saying, hey, these white Afrikaners, they need to be hunted down. Yes, you heard that correctly. And, it's always kind of unfair to kind of highlight one person's voice in all of this. But let's be honest, there's been an undertone of white people bad, white people evil in corporate media, in mainstream media, in the entertainment industry for a very long time. A lot of it in the beginning was kind of subliminal. Now it's kind of more overt. And the levels of kind of discrimination that do happen because of your white is becoming more and more of a serious matter, especially as white people become more of a minority inside of the United States. And this type of thinking highlights the kind of deranged thinking of some of the individuals here. And again, it's not all individuals. We can't blanket statement here. But the trends that are building here, that have been being built up here, are worrisome, are dangerous, and are growing in proportion to a threat that is becoming more and more serious and is leading us down this pathway of full-on race relations breaking down and people just going mad and hurting each other because of the way that they were born, which is stupid.
South Africans who are going to be entering the United States, this is just a public service announcement. I just wanted to make you aware that the Black people who were students during apartheid, we're grandmas and grandpas now, and we have the ear of Gen Z. One more thing, I also want to let you know that our president, he has Secret Service, and you will not. I also want to tell you that Black people over here are empowered. These are just public service announcements. When you get here, sit your ass down and don't touch nothing, because you don't have Secret Service. Okay.
What a horrible, awful, mean, disgusting person that doesn't even know these people, doesn't know their backgrounds, doesn't know who they are, and speaking to small children, speaking to mothers, is saying this to them. This says, of course, we're getting reports that these people already lost their South African citizenship from the government that, of course, is already discriminating against them. And, of course, not to be outdone, Don Lemon, a man who loves his white men, overwhelmingly, again, colonized in the sheets. What's that saying again? Woke in the streets, colonized in the sheets. White man loving Don Lemon privately came out and is having a meltdown against the South Afrikaners.
This South African farmer bullshit, which is the most blatantly obvious racist.
There's 59 of them. This guy's a potty mouth here. Clearly doesn't know how to keep his cool here. There's 59 people. Okay, 59 women, children, families. We're talking about millions of people being allowed into the Democratic Party, predominantly fighting age males, right? You never had an issue with that. 59 of them. You freak out. You start cursing. You start acting like a deranged individual here. And again, this whole race narrative is absolutely reductive, and it's going to get a lot more reductive here. The people of The View, the Don Lemons, the insane women like this aren't helping the discourse. They're only making it that much more nastier, that much more ridiculous, that much more stupid. As of course, I think a lot of this is going to come ahead, and it's probably going to come ahead with the situation regarding Derek Chauvin, who I would argue never got a fair trial. Why didn't he get a fair trial? Well, there's riots, and there's a lot of political pressure, and there's a lot of other information that, of course, didn't come out. MTG, Congresswoman, came out with a statement saying that she supports Derek Chauvin being pardoned and released from prison. She said George Floyd passed away from a drug overdose. Ilhan Omar and other members of Congress are saying this is absolutely vile. And, of course, this is what they're going to be standing on. And we're going to have a little run back probably to the BLM days. Let's be honest with ourselves. As, of course, what happened to George Floyd created the riots that burned down a significant portion of this country, took the lives of 36 individuals, injured thousands of others, and created huge amounts of property destruction. Now we have the left and right battling it out as there's serious considerations of the federal government and state government to actually prepare a pardon for Derek Chauvin. Now, Derek Chauvin has federal charges. He has state charges. It's going to be interesting to see what the state leaders actually do here and what could potentially happen here, as this is an issue that probably will be brought to the forefront. And when it is, it's only going to destroy race relations that much more. As, of course, we have to understand here, everything that's happening, especially subliminally, especially with the race swapping of actual type of monsters and predators out there and always making them white, as depicted in all these TV series and movie series. This kind of give, send, go race financial war that's happening. This type of treatment, this kind of freak out against white South Afrikaners, this type of anger and hatred towards individuals because of the way that they was born. This type of lazy, collectivist, angry, ignorant type of thinking has no place in modern civil society, and I would argue our society is becoming a lot less civil than it ever has before. Now, there's a lot of people that are saying enough is enough. Listen, I'm not going to be ridiculed. I'm not going to be made fun of. I'm not going to be assaulted here. I'm not going to be attacked here. I'm going to stand up for myself and my people. And at the way that things are going, this is a situation that, of course, will create a full-on collision. Now, in my opinion, we should try to avoid that collision. I don't think this fight is worth having. I think whatever you might think the solution might be, living separately, having more discourse, having more communication, not giving attention to a lot of the more kind of insane, hyperbolic, angry, ignorant people. But I think we reached a point where, especially the left, has gone full-on Riri to the point where they are arguing for racial discrimination that they have implemented and utilized against people that is absolutely unfair, that is absolutely disgusting. And I think at least in order to rectify the situation, that situation needs to be dealt with first. That's my own personal opinion. What do you think? How do we settle this problem that, of course, is only going to be exacerbated, made that much worse, and probably become more and more explosive as time goes on here? What do you think? Let me know down in the comment section below. I don't have an easy answer. I don't have an easy solution. It's not easy talking about these topics, but if you thought I did a good job, share this video. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more. Sign up to lukeunfiltered.com.